Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today I want to talk about the solo mode for Fields of Eternia. Now, I think it's okay. The problem is that it's very, really just kind of a puzzle to see how quickly you can build up your character to then go take on some very stagnant enemies. And there's no really sense of having to fight back against a dynamic AI. So this is somewhat of what the setup would be for the first scenario in the mission book. We have Triclops here, who's just off screen up here in Mount Eternia, just sitting there, and we have Beastman just sitting here in High Doe. Skeletor shouldn't have even been on the map to start with, and neither should He-Man. We should be playing with additional characters. Technically, if you have the stretch goal box, you would swap out He-Man for Faker. But in this scenario, you basically are tasked with going off and tackling Beastman in epic combat, tackling on Triclops in epic combat. Once you defeated both of them, then Faker is going to come down out of somewhere up here and start heading, I think it's towards Grayskull Castle. Also, at one point or another, Skeletor is going to come out, and all he basically does is beeline for the closest hero and tackle them in epic combat. Now, all in all, that scenario is okay. There are some moving parts here. It's pretty straightforward AI. These two minions are going to actually be running around, whereas these two are staying completely put. So you can take as much time as you want building yourself up, buying all the merchandise you want. You can take over this whole area, and gather buku amounts of Eternium during the day phase to then just buy up a bunch of stuff. There's nobody stopping you from doing that. Get yourself ready, go take them out, and then deal with this other stuff. So it's that part that I'm not really a fan of. There's nothing stopping me from just building up my characters as much as I want, other than the time track. The other thing that I don't really like is the way epic combat happens. And so I have devised a solution to that. So this is their way versus my way. So in epic combat against the AI, you're going to utilize these two decks of cards here: a battle deck and an effect deck. You don't even need the combat deck. So say I'm playing against Skeletor and his evil minions, I can put all that stuff to the side. Your effect deck is how you can change the difficulty of the game. So there are these symbols with the skulls on the bottom. The more skulls, the harder the card is, and so you could say play with all greens and oranges. Where are my other effect cards? Oh yeah, here's all the greens. So if I play with just greens, this is easy. This is beginner. If I add yellow into the mix, then it's medium. If I add orange into the mix, and then there's super hard. These are going to come into play as kind of like the surprise, the gotcha, the what you weren't expecting, and the number of these that are drawn is based on, it's based on cards on here. So these act very similar to a epic beast does. It's just a card that you're going to flip over, and it's going to tell you things like, all right, how many effects cards am I flipping over? What weapon are they using? What's their initiative? What's, and what their stats are. So you don't even need, these cards anymore. There's just some problems with this, and let's go over those. One is that the statistics are very stagnant. They don't change. I can see exactly what they are. Okay, fine. The other thing is the surge. Some of the cards have a surge ability on the bottom, and other ones do not. Simply seeing the surge icon means that you're going to activate the surge ability for your person. Well, the problem with that is that Skeletor here, for example, if he uses his Havoc Staff, it's choose one attack or one defense. Or both players swap their respective. So there's an or in there. There's a decision that has to be made. And, that's when AIs can't make their own decisions. Also, to determine whether or not you're drawing a card with a surge icon or without is a roll of the die. And it's based on, again, difficulty. The more difficult you're playing, the more symbols on that die will trigger you rolling a surge one. So basically, you're always going up against the surge ability if you play on harder difficulty. Whereas me, who's playing as He-Man, will only get my surge ability when that particular card comes up. Now, I mentioned that you'll have this, and then you'll play this one face down. This one effect card will be flipped over, and it'll add something, say +2, so this 4 now becomes a 6, after you have dealt out your cards. All right, so it's not completely stagnant, but it's not nearly as much fun as regular epic combat. I don't like that you can just see all your statistics right off the bat. And then last but not least is that these cards are all designed with the thought in mind that you have already built up your character. If you were to try and take on somebody with a 6 attack, 3 defense, 4 initiative at the beginning of the game, you would get smoked. So there is nothing else I can do other than run around all these outpost locations, build up my character, and then go take on this stagnant character who I know, no matter what card I draw, all of these, like the lowest attack is a 4. And, 5 attack, 4 defense, 6 initiative. There's no way I am reaching those statistics with just 4 cards, even if I have beefed up my deck with a whole bunch of +3s, because I can only put 4 cards down on the entire board. So say I get lucky and draw nothing but 3s, right? Let's see if I can even find that many 3s in my deck here for this example. 1, 2, 3, 4. So say somehow I top deck 4 3s, and I choose to put one here, I choose to put one here, here, and here. I have matched his attack, basically. I have just barely matched his defense, but he has greatly outpaced me in initiative, so he's going to ping me first, he's going to attack me first, he's going to attack me for 5, so I'm going to take 2 damage, and I'm getting 3 damage. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a wash at the end of the day, but this is if I top deck all 3s. This is not going to happen at the beginning of the game. So it makes it impossible to say I'm going to challenge the AI in epic combat anywhere prior to halfway through the game. So this is my solution. Now, I present this solo variant to my peers for review. Please let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts on how this works, or you have constructive criticism, anything like that, or if you think that there might be a better way. Now, what I have created here are a bunch of I have some poker chips here, some extra ones that I have from another game that uses poker chips, and I basically just created a bunch of stickers. I created a bunch of stickers that look like this. They just have +1s in the bag, and I have some +2s here off to the side that will ramp up the difficulty of the AI. I also, though, created them in the specific colors of the actual stats here. So we've got some in yellow for initiative, blue for defense, and red for attack. All right, so I've got my little bag here. I've got a whole bunch of +1s. I've got 4 in each. Now, what's going to happen is that, and you can't use, at first I thought, oh, I'll just use the battle cards. Well, the problem is that the numbers can go anywhere. This is not +2 to attack. So you need to make this system work. You need to create some chips or create some cards that are specific to the actual row. And then this is how combat would go. So let me get my deck here real quick. I don't know why I need every single card. There we go. So I'd have my battle deck, and more than likely I will initiate combat here. And so I'm going to take one card, I'm going to flip it over, and they can all be face up because it doesn't matter. I'm going to put it I'm going to start strong with attack. Now, at this point, I'm going to dig into my bag, or if I was playing, this is not a great bag because you can kind of see through it, but if you stick your hand in there, you can't really see what you're drawing. If you had a deck of cards, you would just simply shuffle it up, and you're going to draw one token, and you're going to put it in that spot. Then you're going to go again. Now, so you know, at this point, you kind of know, and you have to know what their numbers are. There's no way really to do this without it. But at least now I'm like, they didn't go for attack first, they're going for defense first. This is the kind of stuff that throws you when you're battling someone across the table from you in epic combat. So now you would go, you're going to draw this card, ooh, +1. Yeah, maybe I want the initiative. All right. And then we're going to draw a random token out of their bag. Ooh, they're just going super hard into defense. So the AI obviously does not have to follow the rules of playing in a different zone. There's another rule that they're not going to follow here, but we'll get back to that. All right, so I'm seeing he is not attacking at all. So I'm going to throw all my weight into attack for right now. And then he's going to come back. And, oh, there he finally is deciding he needs to attack. So I'm going to take this last card. This one counts as a +1. So I have to put it in someplace different. So I'm going to go here for initiative and then here with my surge. Okay, I've now played my 4 to 5 cards, and he technically would play his 4th. Now, I found out very early on that them playing out 4 tokens is not nearly good enough. It was too easy to go up against my 4 to 5 cards. So what I devised is that your character you're going up against is going to get 2 things. One, they're going to get a number of chips based on their body stats. So symbol to Wild's combat and the amount of dice they roll. This is the amount of chips you're going to put out. So they're going to continue putting chips out after you've finished putting cards out. And they're going to draw effect cards based on their intellect value. So let's see how this plays out here. Skeletor needs 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, stacked them all up there. And then he's going to draw 2 effect cards, which if we were playing on easy, they would all come from this one. So we'll stick with beginner here. We'll shuffle these up. And there they go. So we would add this up here, and we would add this down here. Now, at this point, we're going to kind of go through the rest of Epic Combat like it was meant to be played. So we're going to compare initiative. 2 for He-Man, +2 here is 4. Skeletor has 1, +2 here is 3. So He-Man wins initiative. He's going to ping Skeletor first, and then we're going to look up here. He has 4 attack to his 2 defense, so that's 2 more damage coming to him. I have my surge ability, so I would get +2 defense here, and he would get -1, so that's actually 3 damage Skeletor would take. I didn't defeat him because he's got 7 health, so let's go up here to his attack. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attack to my only 2 defense, so he's going to hit me for 3. At this point, I'm going to set the cards aside, but I'm going to take all of these chips and I'm going to mix them back into the bag. I, as a human player, have to get rid of my cards and draw 4 new ones, but that is how Epic Combat would go. If I choose to, I could escape at this point. If not, I'm going to play 4 more cards. Boom, 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 say that way, and Skeletor, is going to put out 7 more chips. Now, this feels much more dynamic. This feels much more back and forth. You'll notice that I'm playing with all of my starter combat cards and things were pretty even. Whereas before, using this deck here, I had to top deck all 3s and then it was close to even. Now, to keep this from being too easy, once you upgrade your hero, you have to have some upgraded chips. So I have created some +2s. Now, in the scenario that I have created for myself, there are ways for the AI to get these into their bag, and they simply are put into their bag. They don't replace the +1s. You could also, for example, say every time you hit a skull on the timer track here. So if you start and you reach here and you hit a skull, you're going to take one of each of these and add them to the bag. You reach another skull, take one of these, add them to the bag. At this point, you would have added 3 in, and that drastically changes their what they can do with 7 tokens. But at this point, hopefully you have beefed up yourself. You have gained allies, equipment, and vehicles. That's all going to change that. So that is essentially my solo variant to the game, or a way to handle the epic battles where you completely get rid of these cards. These cards where the information is just in front of you, and there's also no really ramp up in difficulty. There's essentially just surge or not surge, but all of the attack power is pretty high. This system enables you to take them on earlier and allows them to build up as well as you, and throws in some surprises. It allows you to play I go, you go, I go, you go. You're going to see their information as it comes out, but it's not all right there out in front of you, and you're just, puzzle solving as you flip over cards. It's much more dynamic. They can be chips, they can be cards, super easy, print and play, and that's it. That's my suggestion. So if you have any thoughts on this, please let me know in the comment section below. Please be constructive. If if you feel like this would be too much, creating chips or cards, let me know. Or if you think this is not enough, if you think this whole system is dead in the water, or if you think the whole solo mode for this game is dead in the water and unsalvageable, let me know. I'm very curious as to what people think. I, again, love the IP. I think this game has a lot of character to it. I think it has a lot of opportunity to it. I think it just needs some fine tuning, especially in the solo mode and the scenarios that they're giving you. So for the rest of my hardcore thoughts on the game, keep an eye out for my review video coming very soon. Otherwise, once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.